Good morning, everybody, and thank you for stopping by. My name is Katelyn Costello, and I am the YA fantasy author of the Virtual Saga, and soon to be YA science fiction author of right now currently known to you as Project ISS. So today I'm going to be talking through what I am going to be doing as far as editing. If you have been following me for a while, you know that I am not the best at editing. I always joke and say that there is a reason that I hire an editor or a proofreader to go over my book after I've gone through it several times, because I may have 2 books published and I may have a degree in English, but the rules of grammar still elude me, and I learn something new every single time I go through an editing process. So I wanted to explain to you today how I plan on going through my first round of in-depth editing for Project ISS. Now, if you don't know, Project ISS is my first delve into science fiction, and it is a military science fiction about a girl who goes to Space Academy, pretty much, and what happens there. I need to write the synopsis at some point in the next month or so for marketing purposes, but that's sort of the idea. The book is in this format, which it's still loosely formatted. It's not specifically tailored down and with everything how it's supposed to be exactly. 472 pages and 131,000 words. It is the biggest book I've ever written, and it's actually my first 2 books combined when they are stacked next to each other in their final publishing format, which is a lot. So I tend to get really bogged down in editing and slog through it. So almost every time that I have done an edit, I have a different process. So I don't know what to call this process. Right now I'm just calling it chunks because I'm going to be attacking it in chunks. I do have edits that my CPs have that I will be getting in the next week or so. They didn't need to take a little bit longer than a month because it's a big book, which is totally fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start going through my chunks, and as their edits come to me, I will insert them in to the section I am currently working on. So my plan is to attempt to edit this all through the month of September. I say attempt. I am giving myself some flexibility, but I do have a basic structure. So I've got my little sticky note here that explains it. So there are 64 chapters in this book, and they average between 2,500 to 3,500 words per chapter, and it's about 12 pages per chapter, I'd say. Yeah, at least 10 pages. Some are longer than others. But I do have a couple much shorter sections that are still chapters, but are much shorter. And I'm not going to say what they are at this time, but just know they're shorter. So these each sticky is a chunk for a week. So this first chunk is week 1. This next chunk is week 2. Week 3 is the largest chunk, and then week 4 is the smallest. So I'm bringing it up into, it's technically 30 days, but the high goal, I would complete it in 26 and have 4 days to go through any edits and put it into a document, possibly going into October as needed. And in doing so, I'm using the Pacemaker program. I had a little bit of trouble using it at first, but I've now figured out how to use it correctly. But I broke up the 64 chapters into 4 weeks of work and divided it so that it would be lighter work at the beginning and the end of the month and higher work in the middle. So for the first week, I'm doing 7 chapters. For week 2, I'm doing 21 chapters. Week 3 is 29, and week 4, air pressure. My window is open in my bedroom. The door just slammed shut. Okay. Week 4 is 7 chapters. And then I should have about 4 days at the end of the month to go through and put those edits in. So that is my sticky. And my process for doing these chunks will be, I've got these little bits of paper in the book as well as the sticky notes. So my plan is to read through the chunk the first day. So today's September 2nd. I read through the first chapters of the section that I'm working on this week yesterday. And I didn't make notes last night on the paper. I made them in my phone. I'll have to transfer them over. And any notes from that section that I have, that I read on or that I thought of on the first go, not writing anything into it, I put on that piece of paper. And then I go back and I go through the edits. Just making notes with a pen in the book of anything that I think needs to be changed or spelling that I see. I'm not really focusing on grammar as much as character and things like that, plot, making sure things are consistent. But if I do see little typos here and there, I will mark it. And then I'm going to read through it again at the end and make notes. And this will also be a place for me to put anything that I know I need to put into that I don't have room to do within the pages, that I can make notes to do later in the next, or when I go through and do it on the computer. So if it's like, I need to expand the scene to include this information, I can write it on a paper or a sticky note and stick it into that page, but I could also just make a note for myself to do it later. It'll kind of depend on what is required as I go through. And that's what I'm going to do for each of the chunks, is I'm going to read through the section and then go through and edit it. Like this week, I have to do about a chapter a day, so it's not that bad. Next week, it'll be like 3 chapters a day, maybe 4, and then 5 chapters a day during the heaviest week. So I think it'll be manageable. It'll just be making sure that I get it done. And like I said, my CPs have edits for me. They just are a little bit slower, especially since some of them are starting new jobs and new school, and like they have their own lives and projects. So it's not like I can force them to do stuff in the timeline that I want. You have to be flexible. So that's where I'm at with this. My goal then would be October to early November, looking, incorporating all the edits, doing another run through on the computer, and then looking for beta readers probably for November, which is not that long, but I do want I have a date in mind for when I want to announce the official title for the book and the cover for the book, which we are working on right now, and the publication date for the book. So I have some work to do to stay on track, but that's where I'm kind of at. It's weird, like, I am both overwhelmed and underwhelmed at the same time. I'm sure once I get into this, that will not be the case, and I will be doing editing vlogs where I talk about vaguely how things are going with the process. But I'm excited. All the feedback that I have been getting in the little snippets from people have been really excited. Everybody really loves the opening, which makes me really excited. You did get a sneak peek of the opening November 1st when I wrote it. Not much has actually changed from that at this time. Some things have changed, but actually I was going through my computer. I have a new desktop computer, and I was transferring a program, and I actually found notes from when I first got the idea for this story in 2017, which was really exciting. I did want Hello. It is Friday, August 14th. I got a package which I wanted to unbox with you because, unless I am mistaken, this is the proof copy of Project ISS. And I posted a picture of what it looked like with the cover that I made very quickly because I don't have the official cover from Jane yet. on my Instagram, but I wanted to unbox it, and I want to show you a comparison of how big of a difference 60,000 words with the Fritchel, 60? No, it's more like 70. 60 or 70,000 words with the Fritchels, 80,000 words with Rebellion, and how much 130,000 words looks like. So I'm gonna go grab those books and then we'll open this up. So I've got the books, and I grabbed the hardcover editions because I've decided that moving forward for Project ISS, the books are going to be 6x9, which is about the same size as these. These are like 6.2 something because of the little overhang. But this is the Fritchels. It's about 1 fingernail width. And in comparison, here is Rebellion. Obviously the case binding does make it a little bit bigger, but this is Rebellion, so you can clearly see there's like 1 fingernail, and this is clearly a bit bigger. It's an extra 20,000 words. So that are these 2 books. My 2 babies, I'm very proud of them. You can kind of really see it there with this versus this. The difference in width. But Project ISS is a beast unto itself, and I'm really excited. I'm still not going to be editing this for a few more weeks. I don't have any notes back from my CPs or anything like that. It isn't. Oh my gosh. Just feeling it. I'm not going to be editing it for a few more weeks from my CPs. I haven't gotten the notes back from my CPs, but I still wanted to get it. Look at how big it is. Oh my goodness. Like, it's the size of the 2 of them combined. So, one other thing I'm gonna grab, hang on. This was my proof copy of Rebellion that I made last January, I want to believe. And the formatting is decent in this. The bottom margin was the biggest issue because it was such a big drop. And I ended up cutting quite a bit of it, as we could see. But this is like the formatting as the book should be. The spacing is really good. There's not a big gap. It's right to the edge of the page. Like, this is how it's going to look. And it's this big. So, to compare the 2, this was the proof copy of Rebellion where a good at least 10,000 more words were cut. And this is Project ISS. I actually almost can't hold it straight because it keeps wanting to curve. But, oh my goodness, I am incredibly excited. Actually, almost a little bit warped by the ink slightly. But I'm really excited about this. As you see, I don't know the summary across the back and lorem ipsum. And I just did a star cover with an outline of a girl faded in the background. It's so cool to see. One of my favorite things is seeing, oh, some of the page numbers didn't go, is seeing my book in person in my hand. It makes me incredibly excited about the project and makes me want to get back into it. And I've been having to work really hard lately to not work on projects. It's actually been kind of a pain in the booty because I really want to work on stuff, but I keep telling myself no. So I'm really excited about this. I'm going to be reading it again in September and going through and just putting my CP's notes into it and going from there. But there's some spacing issues. Oh, that's why. Because I was trying to fit stuff on pages, but it's formatting, and I don't have to worry about formatting for quite a few more months. So I'm so excited about this book. Okay, I have to get ready for a work meeting in about 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go and get ready for that. But I want to put in here, you can probably hear it in my voice. I'm a little sick. The allergies have really been affecting me the last 2 weeks or so. and it is affecting audiobook production. If you don't know, I am working on producing my audiobook for the Rituals, and my goal was to have it released at the end of this month. My ultimate goal would still be to have it be released October 1st. I would like to release it in a podcast format for people to listen to weekly, as well as an audiobook format for you to purchase or to rent from libraries and things like that. I do have the first few chapters, like the first third of the book is done. The next 2/3 are sections that I need to re-record and do things like that. But obviously I can't do that when my voice isn't as strong as it was when I first started recording. And so it's really delaying my recording process. And like where there's sections where I need to redo clips. So October is still my goal, but the longer that my voice is not completely up to par, you've probably heard it over the course of this 10-minute clip fading in and out, and you can't do that for an audiobook. So that might be delayed. I want it to still come out on time, but it might just have to be the podcast at first, which I will include all that information when I have it. If you are a part of my newsletter, you will get access to the first chapter first, so I suggest that you register for my newsletter, which is down below. Is there anything else that I can tell you at this point? I think that's it. Audiobook might be delayed, which sucks. It's like my first time admitting it out loud, and it's been in the back of my head. It hurts, but that's what I'm probably gonna have to do. We're gonna start editing this. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So I think I'm gonna go get this edited so it's ready for Friday and get to work. So thank you all for hanging out with me and talking about editing. All of my social media links, including the newsletter link, so you get that first chapter of audio when I release it, will be down below. All of my signed editions of my books are available on my website. This year is the 2nd birthday of the Rituals, which is crazy. That is September 22nd. And I'm thinking of doing something special for it. I'll let you know. Possibly a live stream. Maybe if my voice is better, a live reading of the first chapter. We will see. But again, all of my social media links will be down below. Please subscribe if you have enjoyed this video, and let me know what your goal for September is in the comments down below. All right, thanks everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.